Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Thank you for joining me for another Fun Fold Friday. Today we're going to make a buckle fun fold card. So a buckle fold card. This is the one I made as the sample. So it slips out of here and opens. I didn't put anything on the inside. I think I might. I haven't decided yet. But usually you stamp before you stick, because if you make a mistake, you're kind of stuck with it. So you've got this slot, and then this will just fit right into it and lay down. Isn't that cute? So I saw some different videos on this, and some of the videos had different dies that they use for the slot. Some of the dies are no longer available, so I was kind of playing with it, and the die I used is from the Delightful Wishes dies, and so I decided to go along with the whole set of products with that. So this is the one I used. I also looked around. There's one in Perfectly Pairs. So it's got to be like a long, narrow rectangle. So this would be short, so you would have to make this smaller. So I would measure, so that's what I did, because everybody I saw used retired ones that I don't have anymore. So I measured this die, and then I determined the size of this white and then the matte based on that. Another one, so this I think would be too small. Another one that I found was the, what is this called? A textured notes dies, and it has this long one. But again, this is long, so you would have, if you use my measurements for this card, you're going to have a gap at the top and the bottom. So I would measure this die. Let's see what it is, because this would be a good one. So this is like 3.5. So I would just go under 3.5, like 3 and what it would be, 3/8, something like that. So I would play with scrap paper and just kind of play with it, right? So just like that, and see. So you'll see this one. I don't know if you can see it. See, it would be too big. So get a piece of scrap paper, measure the die you're going to use, and just go just a tad underneath it, because it's got to fit in, and then see how it fits in. Okay, so those are just some ideas. I imagine you could cut your own if you didn't have dies. There could be a punch that you could use, but these are the products that I use. So I am using the one from this set, the Delightful Wishes, and I'm going to use it on both cards because I thought it was a good size. And it even has this little kind of piece that jumps out a little bit, so it helps fitting it in. But I thought it was a cute card, and I wanted to make it, and I was like, oh boy, what dies am I going to use? And I thought I was going to have to make my own. So I did end up using the Delightful Wishes. I just used the Happy Birthday, so I just inked up this part for the Happy Birthday. I used, these are the low profile sparkle dots, and I thought this was Old Olive, but it's actually Mossy Meadow, but I think it works out good because the colors are Old Olive. This is Darling Duckling, which would probably work. This is Daffodil Delight, and the background is Lemon Lolly. And then the paper, I love this paper. It's so pretty. So that's what I used, and I actually cut the center from these. You'll see I die cut that. So that's how I made this card. Of course, we're going to use different products, except for we will use that die for the next card. So I am using the, where is it? Mixed Media Florals. I haven't used this in a while, and I decided it's not going to be a black and white. It's going to have black and white, but also Poppy Parade. So these are the pieces, and I'll tell you the measurements as I go through them. And then I'll also have a project sheet. Below in the description, there's a bunch of links to my blog, to my online store, to my project sheet. So if you want to print them out or just look at them online, you can go there. I will mention the measurements, but you don't have to write them down. And then I will be using, what did I end up using? The mixed labels. And then I'm going to take, this is all part of a suite, some of the floral and the ladybug from this. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you before we get started. Let's put that aside. So the measurements are, let me get my little cheat sheet out. The base, which is a piece of cardstock, this is basic black. So this is 4 1/4 by 8 5/8. Now normally we're 8 1/2. So 5/8 is longer than a half. So it's a little bit of a different card. So what I suggest, just so you don't, is cut your right down the middle. So this would be 8 1/2, but you need a little bit more. So cut it down 4 1/4, and now you have a top folding card for this. And then this is 8 5/8 by 4 1/4. So you had a little bit that you can use for a mat or, you know, a die cut or something like that. Then we have this piece. This is the kind of, I think I called it the inside fold piece. I'm trying to remember what I called it. So this is the piece, and it's going to fold backwards. So this folds out, this folds this way. So this is 7 by 3. And then you've got your designer series paper. We'll get there when we get there. So the first thing we're going to do is get my trimmer, and we'll do some scoring. So let's get this out of the way. So we want to score the base at 3 1/8. So we're going to go 3, and then just between the 1/4 and the 3 is 1/8. We're just going to score that. And then this white piece, we're going to score it right in half. And I use thick white cardstock for this. So this is 7, so half of that is 3 1/2. So we're going to score that. Okay, and I think we're done with that. And let's burnish both of these pieces. And we'll just get the kind of the guts of the card, the base of it. And this is going to go this way. And then all you have to do is adhere layers and decorate. But we do have to add that. So this is how it's going to be. Okay. We do have to add the designer series paper. So this is our inside layer. And I almost went with the blue piece. Let's see how that looks. And then this is our front layer. And then this will come in here, kind of breaks it up a little bit. So this is what I was planning on doing. Did I put it aside? There it is. So that's another option, because there is boho blue in here. But boho blue is no longer one of our colors. It's retired. So I was going to go with a boho blue card base. Which do you like better? The blue is pretty, but I don't see a lot of it in here. That, or I think they're both pretty. I think that blue is very pretty. I'm going to go with this, but that is an option. And if you have boho blue, maybe you want a boho blue card base. So I got rid of all my retired stuff. So the first thing we want to do is adhere these 2 designer series pieces down. So this one is 2 7/8 by 4, and you want to make sure it's positional. You don't want it going that way. So let's put that one down. Using my Seal Plus, and we're just going to adhere this kind of an equal border all the way around, and then we'll do the inside layer. And this pattern is just an all over kind of pattern. There's no direction to it, so you're okay with that. And that's just going to sit in here. I thought this was good because it had the same flowers. I almost made a white card base with a black, kind of more of a black floral piece, but I decided to go with this. So this is going to fit in here. So the first thing we want to do with this now is use this die, this rectangle, narrow rectangle die, and we're going to die cut And there's no, you know, specific place to put it. Just move it down a little bit. Let's put this out of this way. Let's get rid of this stuff and get my machine out. Okay, so I have my base, my number 2, and sorry, my number 3. Yeah, my number 2 and my number 3 plate. And I'm just going to lay this here, right there. I'm going to put a piece of Post-it tape on it. Make sure it looks like it's down a little bit. I'm looking even top to bottom and kind of straight. All right. So let's put our top plate on. And this is, you know, a piece of designer series paper and a piece of cardstock. So I'm going to go through part way and then back just to give it some extra oomph. And then we can get rid of this. And take this off. Okay, and then this I'm just going to throw away. I don't know if it's worth anything. Put the die back. And see, it's coming together now. So before I put this down, and this is going to sit on this Poppy Parade. So this, I told you the size, but this piece is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. And again, I adjusted this when I adjusted this to fit it in the slot. So I would just go up, when this is folded, it's 3 1/2 by 3. So you want to go up 1/4 of an inch. And I just thought it would make it pop a little bit. So I thought for my sentiment, and I'm going to stamp this before I put anything together. I like the mixed labels, and that's part of the suite with this paper. I'm so glad we're friends. And then I was going to do this flower, which you could do if you didn't have both stamp sets. But I think I'm going to do this flower and maybe a ladybug on top. And I'm going to color the flowers red. So let's get our, I'm going to use black Memento ink for the sentiment. I'm so glad we're friends. And I'm going to put it, this is going to be covered a little bit, so I'm going to put it over toward here. So glad we're friends. And then we're going to stamp this right here. And do I have a ladybug? Let me get the ladybug out. There's 3 different, there's a crawling, a flying, and a, I think I'm going to use that one, which I actually have out and mounted. Let me get it. Okay, I had it right next to me. I didn't realize it. We're going to do this right here. So we're going to do all of this before we adhere it, just in case we make a mistake. Then we can fold it the other way and stamp on the other side. We would put this like this, so you don't even know, right? Now, if you were to put something on the inside, maybe we should do another flower on the inside, or a ladybug. Let's do another flower. Do everything you're going to do before you stamp it, or before you stick it. Should we do another ladybug? I'm going to just leave it like that. Now you can color this with blends, or you can leave it like this. And I think I'm going to color it just to pull out the Poppy Parade a little bit and color the little ladybug. So this is dark Poppy Parade. And let's just color this little, just to give it a little pop of color, and it coordinates with the red in there. And I'm just going to quickly color these. Okay, so I colored the outside and the inside, and then we can adhere this to this piece. I'm just going to put the adhesive over here, We want to mount it so everything is centered and even border. Okay, and then this, oops, wrong end. This is going to fit right in here like this. Cute, right? So you can eyeball it. I'm going to use liquid glue because I want to make sure that this isn't covered and it fits in nicely. So that will give me an opportunity to just, you know, move it around a little bit before it's committed. All right, so it looks like about here. I want to make sure that it's straight and that it fits in here. Whoops. Well, that didn't work. It really slid around. So let's do it this way. So make sure this looks good here. Okay, right? Cute. And I'm wondering, I have that, but maybe we should put some bling on it too. So I have these iridescent pearls, the basic jewels. These are kind of a staple. They never go out of style. I think this and rhinestones you can add to anything. So let's add a couple of these. You can color them if you wanted to. Color them Poppy Parade or even a green if you wanted to. And we'll just... You could put them out here, you could put them over here, whatever you want. So this is the buckle fold card, and it just opens. And I think it's fun, it's different, it is easy, as long as you can figure out the die. That's the hardest part of it, I think. So these are both of the cards. And let's see what we have on for next week. We're going right through July here. So that was this week, the 11th. So the 18th, we're making a book binding explosion card. So come back next week and check that out. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. And thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And have a great week. Bye.